Poison is becoming Vladimir Putin's weapon of choice because it is virtually undetectable, an MP declared last night. An ex-Russian spy is believed to have been poisoned in a UK shopping centre last weekend, and is now fighting for his life. Colonel Sergei Skripal, 66, and a woman, believed to be his daughter, are both critically ill in a Wiltshire hospital. But an MP who lived in the Soviet Union for 4 years, and has done research on Russian warfare, says that poisons are much easier for the Kremlin to use to carry out attacks. The 51-year-old told The Times, "Poisons can be untraceable, so that they are useful for covert forms of warfare. But they can also be used very obviously, as a signal and to make a point. If the Russians tried to shoot someone in cold blood here in the UK, it would be difficult and cause problems. Using poisons would be easier. Investigators are scrambling to identify the chemical used in the attack, which has echoes of the 2006 killing of former KGB officer Alexander Litvinenko, who was poisoned with radioactive polonium in London. The pair were found slumped in the Maltings shopping centre in Salisbury, Wilts, where police said they were exposed to an unidentified substance. But Russian state TV said today that the British press were hyping up the story and that they had no idea what had happened to Skripal. What we know so far, Mr. Seeley urged ministers to step up and take firmer action against the Russians. He said, "We don't see Russia as a threat to us, we see Russia as an irritant. We need to wise up. Russia is a country that's trying to push the boundaries in a number of different ways, whether that is potentially attacking people in the UK or testing international alliances." Shadow Home Secretary Diane Abbott urged a full investigation this morning, hinting that prior police probes weren't good enough. She told the BBC that the case bore a striking similarity to the death of Alexander Litvinenko. "The Russian state is very clever in making what is hit jobs look like suicide. This is very disturbing, and we need to know more. We can't allow London and home counties to become a killing field for Russia's enemies." And today a friend of Litvinenko's, Alexander Goldfarb, predicted that the incident could have been a bit to boost turnout in upcoming Russian elections, as it could lift his image of a tough, nationalistic leader. He said, "Putin is worried few people will come, they are apathetic. This will be used, regardless of whether Putin did it or not, as a way to show his anti-West rhetoric." And he also accused Britain of appeasing Russia. "UK-Russian relations are as bad as they can get," former ambassador declares. "Britain's relationship with Russia is as bad as it could be, and we are running out of ways to punish them," a former ambassador to the country has warned. Tony Brenton, who was the ambassador to Russia when former KGB agent Alexander Litvinenko died from being poisoned, said today that the locker is bare with future punishments for the Kremlin's regime. "We should look for ways to show the Russians that there is a price attached to these actions," he stressed it. "We are at a state with Russia where things are as bad as they can get, and they think they can do more or less what they like." Admitting that there were parallels with other suspicious deaths, he said that we should be careful not to jump to conclusions about whether Russia was indeed behind the attack. And he defended sanctions put on the country at the time of the killing as enough at the time, and they hoped it would never happen again. Mr. Brenton also said Russia's leader Vladimir Putin must be stopped from talking about developing dangerous nuclear weapons. Emergency crews in protective suits last night decontaminated the scene where Skripal, who came to Britain in a spy swap involving flame-haired double agent Anna Chapman, was found. The use of CBRN, chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear, suits fueled speculation the substance could have been radioactive or an airborne poison such as anthrax. Officials are urging anyone in the area who feels ill to contact 111. Last night Litvinenko's widow Marina told The Telegraph, "It looks similar to what happened to my husband, but we need more information. We need to know the substance. Was it radioactive?" Skripal, 66, and his daughter, thought to be in her 30s, were found on Sunday afternoon slumped on a bench in the shopping center while one of them had been sick nearby.